welcome to the greatest sports show on planet Earth. This is Sports in 60 Minutes, and this week we've got loads of stuff to share with you. Now, the football season resumes. There's so much to touch on. I'm Femi Farawe. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm grateful to know you could join us. I'll be doing this with Princewill Oviesan, who's got loads to talk about concerning the Olympics.
It's a pleasure being here once again.
Okay, well, you're going to play it all cool. That's all right. Francisca Nwobodo is also right here with us as well. Francisca, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, I'm saying that there's a plan.
I want to be in a calm mood today.
So the calm before the storm.
The storm before the calm.
Okay.
No, the calm before the storm.
All right, you know what? I don't even know how it goes. But we've got loads of stuff to share with you. Let's go for a break. When we come back, we'll look through all the stories and more right here. All right, so let's pick out some of the big stories we've got lined out from the football scene. The European Football League resumes. I'm excited because Nigerians are dominating the headlines. Princewill, gonna get your thoughts on this one. Your pulse, Victor Osimhen. Now, originally, we thought that story wasn't going to happen because, obviously, Chelsea and Napoli couldn't get something going. But now it seems as though that door is open again.
It's going to be a great one to see Victor Osimhen come to the EPL. And being a fantastic player that he is, a lot of Nigerians want to see what he can bring to the table. And don't forget that for quite some time, Chelsea has not actually have a point man that can actually put in the ball behind the net. So Victor coming to the EPL will definitely ignite the EPL. And as a Nigerian, I'm excited.
But doesn't that confuse you a bit? Because Chelsea is signing players from everywhere. Pedro Neto was the most recent, knowing they have about, 6 wingers already, added to the likes of Modric, Sterling, Cole Palmer, Nonima Madueke. You not add another winger. Doesn't that also add some form of confusion, knowing Jackson already plays in that position? Lukaku is still on that team list. Emmanuel Broya is also still on that team list. Does Osimhen get the playing time he deserves?
Considering the fact that Osimhen is coming from a very strong background with what is being paid on him, you can be rest assured that no coach will want to put him on the bench. They want good result, and Osimhen is the right one to get it.
All right. You agree with this, Francisca?
I disagree. I disagree with this. I feel that he mentioned the fact that he will have a playing time. What's the guarantee? You just mentioned all the players that are already in that position. And I, for one, for a person of Osimhen, he wants a playing time. Will he be guaranteed of that playing time? And also don't forget, aside from Mikel Obi, who has been a Nigerian playing in Chelsea, I don't think there's that relationship like when it comes
Victor
to Nigeria.
Moses.
Okay, Victor Moses. Then
Celestine
Babayaro, long time ago. We are talking about recently. So I feel maybe another club, not Chelsea, because there is already...
That's the only club available for him to move to.
Then maybe just remain in Napoli, because
the coach doesn't want him.
The question is, how did even Osimhen get to this point?
The coach
That's
doesn't
the big
want
question.
him. The Conte doesn't want him.
You know what I do think? What I think, and this is my opinion, I feel that Conte, like he said, doesn't want the player. The player obviously has had some form of negative vibe.
That's it.
Right? So what he needs to do now is move while it's still, the window is still open.
Where the club is coming from.
It doesn't matter because...
And it is, we are not, how sure that we are not, what's the guarantee that this will not also come with a negative vibe?
No, because originally Chelsea were proposing a loan move with the option to sign him fully. Osimhen, on the other hand, wants to move full. I do think that he'll fit into the Chelsea style. Obviously. He's strong, he's quick, he shoots well, and he gets into this, but he's tall aerially.
But based on his last performance last season.
Oh, you can't judge him with you can't judge him with that, because it's like saying the season before.
You're as good as your last game, that's what it means.
We agree, but when you consider the tempo Osimhen has, he can fit into anything.
Well,
and I also think that his numbers per goal, he still hit double figures last season.
Very true.
Despite all the injuries.
Oh, wow.
You know what, Francis? I'm going to try to get you this question. I'm sure you must have to be positive about something.
I know.
Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United, has signed a new deal, staying at Old Trafford till 2027 with the option of an extension. That's a good story, right?
Yes, good story.
Amazing. You picked that one as good.
But what do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Bruno Fernandes, at least he's still the one who has got maybe sort of level of, how will I put it?
He's the most vibrant player in Manchester United.
She understands. So they feel, oh, maybe we can just get this guy to still calm the old nerves and everything, because you and I know that the Manchester we are saying now, not much buying, even the one they've done, not familiar faces that you and I know. So they feel this is the person who can still hold on onto the club with his heart and all of that. So I feel maybe 2027 just by the corner, if you ask me, maybe 2 season or thereabout, 2027. Maybe before then, let's see what he will do.
You know, he's captain of Manchester United, and this adds more responsibilities on his shoulder. But it just seems as though United signed Lenny Yoro, they brought in Matis De Ligt, Mazraoui has come through the window, Joshua Zexi has come through the window. Does this fit like, okay, does it see the investments made by the club and feels, okay, you're getting it right, I should stay here and build something?
Well, for me, I think Fernandes is in the right club. He believes he's in the right club, and he has actually brought his A game to bear. I honestly want to see Fernandes as a player who could put up a legendary status in Manchester United, and with the group of players who are actually coming in right now, he could gel.
All right, let's go over now to something that has to do with domestic scene. Yemi Olarewaju has now confirmed as the new coach of Enyimba. Now, for those who don't know, Enyimba were given a bye in this round of the CAF Confederation Cup, right? Based on the history they've got in the competition. So they'll come through in the next round. So they're not playing in this round, but they confirmed Coach Yema, as they call him, in Enyimba, as their new permanent coach. Great move also from Enyimba.
Yeah, it's a great move, considering the fact that he was under George Finidi as an assistant coach, and he's been there for quite some time. You need stability, and for him, he actually understands the philosophy and the pedigree of the club. I think having him as the head coach will also give Enyimba a very good terrain to settle in. They didn't do well in the continent last season. They're right now back in the continent, but this time on the confederation level, he's the right candidate right in there.
All right. Francisca, let's turn over to the new announcement made by the USA. Mauricio Pochettino confirmed as their next boss, his mission, take them to the World Cup in 2026 where they are hosts.
And the question is, will he?
He will. They'll qualify automatically.
They will go to the World Cup, yes. But will he win the World Cup? That's
no, I think that's not possible. I don't think it's possible.
Then why did you?
No, but you need to. Playing at home, you have to make a statement. Now, remember, the USA, under the last manager, Greg Berhalter, at the Copa America, did not shine. Canada, who just employed an American just in March, went all the way to the semi-final, right? So they're looking for ways to ensure they're better, and it's better than Mexico and Canada going into the next game. And they've got quite a few stars.
But if I may ask, Southgate and Pochettino.
There's a difference. There's a difference.
Yes. There's a big difference.
There's a big difference.
You cannot compare the class of Pochettino and Gareth Southgate. Two big difference. Two wide big difference. For a coach to have gone to the World Cup back-to-back finals, Pochettino is still struggling in the EPL.
That's what I'm saying. Anyways,
I'm shocked, Femi. I'm really shocked.
Honestly, because
the Americans will sign the person of Pochettino.
I think they got quality.
Yes, with all respect.
Because I will still say a small team, or at least a team on the level of Spurs, will look towards the direction of Poch. Because remember, Poch, towards the end of his stay at Chelsea.
That's at the club level.
And so going to national team means USA is still for USA. USA are benefiting from this move.
I'm still shocked.
I'm still shocked as well. Shocked. When I saw that, I was like, what? Like, seriously?
How to revalidate this?
Because I'm looking at the pedigree.
Tell me that if Jurgen Klopp had gone to USA, you would not be shocked with that.
I won't.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
But I won't as well.
It's not that today,
because the pedigree is because how do you compare someone who because I want to believe
he struggled.
Not even
his work job assignment was in Chelsea. He struggled to make statements with games.
Not even I'm even talking about Gary Southgate himself. He's got pedigree for himself
Southgate doesn't have pedigree. No, I don't think so. I think that his most accomplished term has been what he did with the US. I was
putting Southgate. There's a confusion somewhere.
All right, okay,
England, sorry. United States of America. So my mind just
we're
came back
about women's football.
And mind just came back to say, oh no, it is USA,
what Gareth
not
Southgate
England.
has done with the Three Lions, it will take a longer time for an Englishman to do that. Yes, back-to-back finals. It doesn't come easy, Femi.
Okay. It's difficult working with these guys, especially when I have to put on.
But that's what it is.
When I have to put on this outfit. I know. I'm not denying your fact. I'm not saying your fact is wrong. I'm just saying it's difficult working with both of you. Maybe next time I'll move my chair a little closer to this direction because
you know what you would do.
Whatever you guys are drinking today, you're drinking it well. Let's talk about Idris Adesanya. Israel, I beg your pardon. Israel Adesanya. He's got his fight this weekend, UFC 305. He's up against Duplessis of South Africa. And I've seen all the trash talk on television. This guy means business. And I've seen people talk about it. I like Israel Adesanya, and I think that he not only talks the talk, but also walks the walk. But do you agree that Duplessis would be a very difficult task for him?
Well, having lost his last bout, he's ready to go. For me, I think his focus in his last two fights has not been the very best. And he's actually having a very tough opponent who with just one kick to the jaw, you're down. So he's just got to be careful.
So you're picking him to win or him to draw?
I'm picking Israel at this one, not because I'm a Nigerian.
I'm also picking Israel at this one. I
can't believe that finally we all of a sudden we're not agreeing. Really. It took you guys one story to get you back on the train. But it's all right. You know what? I'm just going to smile.
You know the history, and he's mentioned it, that he doesn't just talk the talk. He also does the work on, the bout or, whatever. So I feel, for me, just give it to him.
You know what? This weekend we'll see him in the octagon, UFC 305. It's in New Zealand. That's where the bouts will come through. So it's very good to see what Dana White put forward. And hopefully, if Israel can reclaim the title he lost to João Pereira in his previous fight. Let's go for another break. And when we come through, the stories we've been dodging about Team Nigeria at the Olympics. We'll do an X-ray and get someone who was live there in Paris to watch Team Nigeria perform. Welcome back, everyone. This is still the show. At this point, we've got something very important to roll through. It's the Olympic Games. The fallout has plagued everyone from the sports ministry to the federation president, the athletes and Nigerian fans alike. Well, one man who saw everything happen live at the Olympic Games, live right there in Paris, France, witnessed the shenanigans, covered the games, is Deji Omotoyinbo. He joins us right now, live from London. Deji, it's good to have you join us. First, I must get your impression about the Olympic Games, the facilities and the structure.
Top notch. The games were absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere at every venue was electric. All the venues were packed to the rafters, which just underscore the fact that every sport has its own audience. And at every venue, you have the chants, the rituals, so to speak. All the fans for every sport have their peculiar rituals that they played on. So it was quite exciting, and it was very, very well attended. You got to any venue you went to was full to the brim. And it was like that all through, from day one right to the last day. So I'm sure the French are very happy with themselves. Also, the home team, so quote unquote, the French athletes did well. I think they came fourth or fifth on the overall table. They did so well in a lot of team sports, got to the finals of a lot of team sports, even though they didn't win some. But it created a very, very exciting atmosphere, and the French love their sport. Facilities, of course, before you are allowed to host the Olympics or you're confirmed to host the Olympics, your facilities were world class. Facilities, absolutely world class. All in all, I think it was a great games. Paris should be very, very proud of herself for hosting such an exciting game.
Team Nigeria failed to win any medal at the Olympic Games, and we've seen the Federation President, the NOC, the Sports Ministry, the athletes and even fans alike point fingers in different directions. What do you make of all of this?
You see, that's the problem in Nigeria. Nobody likes to own up for responsibilities. And at the end of the day, it's also a country of no consequences. I'm surprised after all of this, there are no consequences. The truth of the matter is, we also know as a country that the amount of work we need to put into excel at games like this, we are not doing enough. Part of that is a systemic problem, a structural problem. For instance, I don't think the last 4 or 5 Olympics, I don't think one sports minister has overseen 2 Olympics. So there's a disconnect there. And because of our election cycle, most of the time, elections come the year before the Olympics. The sports minister is appointed 9, 10 months, maximum 1 year to the Olympics. Personally, you and I know that he cannot impact performance at that point. He can try and make sure things work well, logistics and all of that. But, they get carried away. These sports federations is where the work has to be done. But the sports federations themselves are always embroiled in controversy, infighting, ego tripping. Now elections are coming on, and it's all about the personalities in the federations. We're not building structures. We're entrenching powerful individuals, and these powerful individuals, I'm sorry, most of them have demonstrated that they're not particularly interested in the athletes. So an Olympic cycle is 4 years, but an Olympic medal cycle for me is 7 to 10 years. So we don't have continuity at the planning level, at the ministerial level. We don't have most of the time when we have continuity at the sporting federation level, there's always a lot of infighting. I don't know why basketball, how we started playing any league in basketball, even though it seemed like 2 years ago the problems were solved. Well, obviously something is still going on because there's no local league going on. So we cannot expect that there's all this chaos and we think that we'll go to the Olympics and excel. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. If you don't put the house in order, sort out the governance structures, make sure sports run, even infrastructure, training facilities, if you don't sort those things out, if you had won a couple of medals there, maybe you would have papered over the cracks. But Femi, 2012, we didn't win a medal. 2016, I think we won one, if I'm not mistaken. And then in 2020, we won two. Even at that, for a country of our size and talent, our talent pool, that's even not good enough. So even if Toby had won a gold medal, it still would have just papered over the cracks. Now, there is a process. You develop a talent, you develop potential, you find a potential, and then there is a podium. In between, I've said this on several occasions, in between, there's a process. That process, I'm sorry, we don't have it. And even if you have it, it's not up to par. Some countries came to these Olympics with athletes they know will not win, but they are priming them to win for 2028. Do we have that kind of long-term orientation? I don't think so. I don't see it. It's not all doom and gloom. There were a couple of athletes I picked out. Some of guys in the 400 meters came seventh, first Olympics 1920. Even the young lady, President Ochonogo, that came last in long jump, coming from where she was a year ago, get to the final of the Olympics is quite commendable. But are we going to take these two as an example? There was also a young lady in weightlifting who came fifth in a very strong field. I think her name is Rafi Yatulawa. I think yes. She came fifth. Then tell me, I watched that event in a very strong field, and I was really impressed. So put it contextually, some performances were decent, but how are you going to take it forward? That's where the problem is. How are you going to take those identified talents, give them an elite, maybe an elite talent development program for 4 years? If we don't win in 4 years, the 19-20-year-old can win in 8 years. But we don't have that kind of long-term vision for our sports. And it's the same thing with other sports. It's the same thing with, other sports generally. So not only the Olympics, we wait to qualify and we start rushing and we think we're going to get results. Of course, it was okay for one or two of us to feel that we could have won a medal in wrestling and then in athletics. The 4x400 men were unfortunate because of the disqualification. They came second in a very strong field. Maybe there was a medal there, but what happened. So we need to have a long-term view. For the Olympics, it's not a minister coming in 1 year. If you like giving 100 billion, it's not going to impact performance. I've said it. So some people are making a lot of noise about the money given. That's another problem. Funding. We tend to want to fund sports. Sports funding has to be systemic and long-term. Not that we're going for an event and then the president releases money 3 or 4 months to the event and expects a miracle. It doesn't happen. It's like you get to the Olympics. If you promise an athlete $100 million to win gold, if he or she is not trying to win that gold, the incentive will want to make her win that gold. It's not about money. It's about proper planning, yes, and funding at the right time. That's what generates results. Not throwing money around at the last minute and expecting results to happen. It's not going to happen.
Based on what you've said, what is the way forward for Team Nigeria and our sports in general going into 2028 and 2032?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that we've been here before and advices were given. But I identify a major problem. the way our sporting federations are structured, I'm sorry, they are not structured for success. Because you have sporting federations that have found a way to lock out people who might be able to add value by the governing laws that they've written. Maybe they've written it themselves. They found a way to lock out people who might be able to add value. So some of them have been there since whenever, and they just sit there. There's no plan, and then they go to government cap in hand. Let me tell you a funny thing that happened there. I spoke to 5 journalists from 5 different countries. I asked them what the name of the sports minister was. Only one of them knew who the sports minister of our country was, the lady. The remaining 4 didn't know because they have no business with the sports minister. The structure we put up, because the federations always tend to go and meet the sports minister has become a powerful person that you go and meet for funding. But at the end of the day, if a sports minister resumes 1 year to an Olympics, if you have not made proper plans up till then, I still think it goes back to the sporting federations. We have to change the laws to allow quality, value-adding people to get into the sports federations. Right now, the minister has talked about it. I don't know whether it's going to be possible because they have powerful entrenched interests. Look at what happened to the Tigers. They did so well this tournament. But remember, a couple of years ago, a minister made a decision and they couldn't go to the World Cup they qualified for. So if I were to, we've advised, like you said, I've been on this job for 30 years. We've shouted ourselves hoarse. We've been here before. 2012, we were changing the same things. Nothing changed because the way we are politically, I still believe and I still maintain it. It looks like the sports ministry is for a government sports minister or sports ministers. I can just put anybody there. I'm sorry, with all due respect to all the sports ministers, I personally feel that if you are not earning your living in the sports industry, it's going to be difficult for you to understand the nuances and the ups and downs of the sports industry. That's my view. And even
well, you've also mentioned some of the challenges we've encountered. Now, going to the Paralympic Games, which begins in a few days, what do you think Nigeria will do at the Games in terms of performance?
Well, to be honest with you, Paralympians tend to do better. They tend to win medals at all stages. I don't know how well these ones are prepared. But the bottom line is that even if Paralympians do well and spare our blushes, it doesn't remove the fact that a lot of things are fundamentally wrong with our sports. Success or failure at these Paralympics, I think it's too late to change what's going to happen. But success or failure at these Paralympics does not paper over any cracks. Just like if Toby Amuson had won a medal, if Nwobodo had won a medal, if they had won 2 gold medals, it just papers over the cracks. We have a lot of work to do. Whether we have the mindset, whether we have the wherewithal, whether we have the sincerity to put in the long-term work that we need to get to where we need to be is another matter entirely.
Well, the major football leagues begin this weekend. We've seen loads of stories coming through in the transfer world, but the Premier League is back. What's your thoughts about what we should expect from the big clubs, and can anyone dethrone Manchester City at the top?
Femi, to be honest with you, I only started trying to catch up on the transfers, on the moves and all of that yesterday. I was completely focused on the Olympics. But from what I've seen, Premier League starts tonight. Manchester United have brought bodies into the door. They have the keeper squad now. It looks like there's a bit of quality there. West Ham have impressed me with their buys. Brighton as well. So those two might ruffle 1 or 2 feathers. Arsenal, hopefully they're talking about bringing Merino in as well. Alafiori has come in to strengthen the back line. Man City, the young man, Bobby, got injured yesterday, so they might go back into the market to try and get something. But I think Arsenal have a great chance this season, but other teams have improved. I think Spurs have improved. I think Aston Villa, who did well, have also improved. So it's not going to be an easy ride. If Arsenal can find the level of consistency they found in the last 2 seasons, they might push City. But it's tough to see against the juggernaut that is. See beyond the juggernaut that is Man City. The way they make their buys, the way they just tend to get into the second half of the season and get on those long winning runs. But I do know that in sport, at some point, they will continue to win. At some point, that consistency might be broken. I feel that Rodri is key. A long-term injury to Rodri. He's been playing a lot of football for the past 2 years. If he suffers a long-term injury, we know what happens to City when Rodri doesn't play. Haaland as well. So City might be short-handed in some little areas. So if any long-term injury happens, there may be in a bit of trouble or spot of bother. But Guardiola just seems to know how to work these things out. But I'll still pick City and Arsenal to run them close. But if Arsenal can, I still feel Arsenal need a striker. I honestly still feel they need a proper, a finisher, not a striker. You know the difference. There's a difference. Somebody like Haaland who just sits there and puts the ball away. I think Arsenal need that to overhaul City. If they can get that, Arsenal would give them a run for their money. Man, you might pull a few surprises. They can find some consistency if the new buys gel quickly, but I don't think they can win the title. I'll still say Liverpool have not brought anybody in as yet, and that's a surprise. So I don't know how that might affect them. Man City for me and Arsenal, between those two, to run for the title again.
I have to ask you this question. Where will Manchester United finish at the end of the season?
Well, with the buys they've had, with the way they've tried to fill up gaps in the squad, they're still looking to bring in a midfielder. A top 4 finish should be achievable.
Thank you very much, Deji Omotoyinbo. And I know you're currently on holiday. We had to pull you up for this interview. So enjoy the rest of your holiday. Hopefully when you get back to Lagos, we'll share more ideas about Team Nigeria and what to do going forward.
Thank you very much, Femi. Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
All right, guys. So you've got his thoughts about Team Nigeria, and all we can do is hope and pray. Fingers crossed, right? But before you go, I just want to get your thoughts about the Paralympic Games. I know Francisca is always talking about Team Nigeria, the performance Nigeria can put forward. Do you think, personally, we can spring any surprise at these games?
Yes, we will. Going by research, going by records, we know that they have been winning. The last one they won was 2 medals or 3 medals or thereabout. But my fear is this: there's been a lot of diminishing returns. As we progress, we tend to reduce our performance. So I worry for this. And I'm also looking at the number of sports that will be participating in this Paralympics. I think 2 or thereabout. We just have 12 athletes who will be represented. Then my worry again is 3 billion naira for these 12 athletes, because I'm trying to do the calculation. 3 billion naira, 12 athletes into sport. Well, perhaps the NPC, or they call them National Paralympics Committee, maybe they will have a better, explanation for us as to this.
All right, so just to put some clarity to what Francisca has mentioned, going to the Olympic Games, Team Nigeria spent 9 billion naira. And that was confirmed by the minister, a total of 12 billion, 9 for the Olympics, 3 for the Paralympics. So we'll have to wait to see what turns out. Before I close the show, I've got to ask your thoughts about top scorers in the Premier League. Starts this weekend. There's a lot of hype around it. Who are you tipping to be the top scorer at the end of the season?
Haaland.
Francisca, you? Haaland too?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was just going to go for Oli Watkins, someone different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Watkins.
No.
19 goals last season. I'm tipping him to score a lot more goals this year. So I'm going to put him as number 1, Haaland as number 2. Wow. We already shared our top teams last week, so go on, enjoy your weekend of football. We'll come back next week. We'll go through all the action. We'll look forward to all the major competition, including the start of the NPFL. Remember, the 31st of August is the date. You can follow us on social media, share your thoughts with us. We'd love to hear from you on all our platforms right there. I'm Femi. Big thanks to Francisca. She's been through everything today, but hey, we got here in one piece. Princewill, oh well, he's going to be okay. I'm Femi. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll catch you with more stories right here on iRevel Studios. Until then, cheerio. Bye.